Evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. Nice to see you. Thank you, Kay, for providing me with a subject for this evening, which required me to not have to think too hard. So we'll explore confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah.
But we'll start with our exercise and then we'll talk about confidence. So we begin by having a little see what we can see right now. And once you've had a look, you may close your eyes and turn your awareness to what you can feel. So you can become aware of your body, pressure of your back pressing against the seat, pressure of your bottom pressing into the seat. Points of pressure on your arms where they are in contact with other parts of your body. Your feet in contact with the floor. Your clothes against your skin. And the movement of air on your hands and on your face. And then we become aware of our sense of smell. And then aware of the taste in your mouth. And shift your awareness to listening. And over the course of the next couple of minutes, if your mind wanders, doesn't matter, just bring your attention back to listening, allowing sounds to happen moment by moment. Okay, confidence. So I'm sure we can all agree that confidence is something that we like to have. It's good to be confident. It's good to feel confident when you go into situations. So I started thinking a bit about confidence and what confidence is. And the first thing is to think about the importance of not confusing confidence with, say, arrogance. You know, somebody can walk into a situation appear to be very confident, but actually they're just arrogant so-and-sos who are up themselves and have an inflated sense of their own importance and their own worth. And that's not a good thing. That's not being confident. That's being selfish and self-important. And, exclusive. It doesn't, those kinds of people are not necessarily open to what others can bring to a situation. And that's never a good thing. You want to be open to other ideas. So confidence is true confidence. The confidence that we would like to have is more about being confident in your own abilities, and confident in your own abilities to deal with whatever situation it is that you're walking into. So I started thinking a bit about that from a mindful perspective. What with this being mindfulness group, it's important that it has some relation and consideration of mindfulness. And so I thought, okay, well, we can, if we do the whole two sides to the story thing that I always do when I'm talking about something, we can have confidence with mindfulness and confidence without mindfulness. Somebody can come across as being confident, but not aware, not mindful. Not necessarily at the extreme, as I said at the beginning, where you've got somebody who's very egocentric and arrogant. Not necessarily quite that far, but confident, but not mindful, not aware. And then we can have confidence with mindfulness. And actually, and I'm sure we agree that being mindful is important, and so if we can be confident and mindful, then that's going to be the desired state, that's going to be the desired outcome. And in that situation, you could probably take confidence out of the equation. Because if you are mindful, then that means that you are aware. And if you go into a situation with awareness, aware of everything that's going on, then, and awareness of yourself, awareness of your own place within that. And I don't mean your place within it in a kind of know your place type situation. I don't mean it in that sense. Know your place, know your limitations. I just mean knowing where you are, what's going on, and being aware of everything that's going on around you. And if you can go into a situation with an awareness that will lead to you being able to respond appropriately, because that's something that we've talked about a lot. If you're mindful and you're aware, then you're much better able to respond to situations appropriately without getting all emotional and all the rest of it. And so if you can go into a situation in that state, then belief in your own abilities, belief in your ability to respond appropriately, belief in your abilities to contribute and share ideas, because they will come from a mindful place, ultimately will lead to a significant amount of confidence without actually necessarily having to think I need to be confident and I've got to go into this confidently.
Yeah, think of like a new job or driving or something.
Yeah.
Like,
that's it. I think, I suppose what I'm trying to come around to is there can potentially be an inherent danger in just focusing on being confident, because it may cause you to close off some of that awareness. You know, if you just try and generate this hyper-confident person, there is a danger that you will become this arrogant, egotistical person with an inflated sense of their own importance and their own position. Whereas if you go in mindfully, then the confidence is more natural, because you're confident in your ability to be aware of what is happening in this moment. Because ultimately that's what's important, just being able to be in this moment, be aware of everything that's happening. You know, it's not about being loud and opinionated. You know, somebody can be confident and be quite measured and
accepting.
Yeah, and very accepting, and some, you know, sometimes the contributions that come from people that have the most, that are the most profound or have the most impact, have that impact because they are delivered in a way that is incredibly honest and appropriate. And when somebody's just, you know when somebody's gauged the situation perfectly, and they've been watching, and then they go, actually, have we thought about this? And everybody goes, ooh, yeah, you're onto something there. And it's that, I think, that has that, if you can deliver something like that, you don't have to deliver it in a particularly verbose way. But if you deliver it with the confidence of knowing that it's come from a mindful place, from an accepting place, and also, I suppose, with an openness. Confident people are not necessarily afraid for their contributions to be questioned or disregarded. If you contribute and you make an observation or whatever it may be, and it's come from a mindful place, and then people say, actually no. A confident person would either say, well, actually, maybe it is, or they'll go, okay, fair enough,
take it on the chin.
and take it on the chin. Whereas the arrogant, egocentric person will go, no, I think you'll find I'm right. And then everybody just goes, oh, what an idiot. Yeah. Whereas the person that is more authentic, that's the word I was looking for. When it's delivered with that authenticity, then it can have more impact. And that, I believe, can be just as profound as the confident person that's always got their chin. I think it's a difficult one because a lot of people come for. I was reminded of this week. There was a young girl that came to see me for some help because she's got her GCSEs coming up, and obviously she's quite anxious about it. We're feeling quite a bit stressed and feeling quite anxious, and so I just did a load of mindful stuff with her. Said, a lot of the anxiety that you're thinking about with your exams comes from past and future. You're worrying about whether you've done enough revision, and you're worrying about what might be in the exam or what will happen if you don't do as well as you think you may do. And, you know, it's all past and future stuff that's building this anxiety. Actually, going in there and sitting and doing the exam, if you're able to do that and be in the moment, you'll do all right and you won't get nervous about it. But also, you know, we did a bit of work on confidence, and developing confidence. But it was really, more than anything, it wasn't to make her confident to think, yeah, I'm going to go into this and I'm going to absolutely smash it. You know, I know everything, I can rattle this off. It was more about being confident in her abilities to stay calm and know that the work that she'd done, she'd be able to bring it to answer the questions and not get rattled. That was where she needed confidence, to know that she could be confident in not getting anxious and not getting stressed. And that seems to have worked, because she's, by all accounts, anecdotally, quite calm, you know, and she's using the mindful breathing and things like that, and that's given her confidence. Knowing that she can cope with that situation has made her confident, you know. But it's not that, you know, it's not that she's bullish and she's going in there bragging that she knows it all and she's going to do really well. It's just confident that she's not going to worry about it. She's not going to get herself in a state. She can only do her best. And that's where that came from. And a lot of people that come for therapy, it seems to be based on confidence. And all the stuff I've ever done in the past, I suppose maybe because I've never really thought about it like I've been thinking about it for this evening, has been about allowing people to unlock the confidence that they have within themselves, because everybody has the capacity to be confident. It's not something that you can be given. You can't give somebody confidence. But I suppose thinking about it this week and thinking about what I've done in the past to help people, it is really about people becoming confident that they can be in this moment without feeling anxious and without feeling stressed. And once you can do that, well then, you know, the world's your oyster, and you're not then, you don't go down the track of becoming this big arrogant, you know. I suppose, because you see the other side to it, I was reminded, there's a guy called Tony Robbins, who's one of these American life coach type people, and he, you know, he is Mr. Confidence. You know, he can go on stage in front of thousands of people and talk and be engaging and entertaining, but he just exudes this, and you could mistake it for arrogance, really, because he's a big personality, and he's very convincing. And he talks about how some of it's to do with posture and things like that. And it's true to an extent. It is true, because if you imagine how somebody would carry themselves if they were not confident, if they had if they were very self-conscious, then they would be diminutive and looking down and eyes down and quite closed in their body language. And if you adopt that position yourself, you feel self-conscious and lacking in confidence. But if you imagine somebody who is confident, then they're like Tony Robbins, and they're standing tall and they've got their chin up and they have a very open stance, and if you adopt that position yourself, you do actually feel more confident. Which is good and which is fine, and I would certainly advise people to, if they wanted to adopt a simple technique to make themselves feel more confident, then do that. Change your shape. But I would also say that you need to couple it with that mindful approach, that awareness, because having that positive stance is nothing without the awareness. If you have that mindful aspect where you're aware, then it gives you even greater.
It's a bit like I was for the interview for the job that I've got now. The first interview was a telephone interview, and I got all prepared and I put my suit on and I stood up on the telephone and had this little thing with a smiley face on it, just so I could assume that persona and come across in the right way over the telephone, and it worked.
It does work.
It does work. It does work. Definitely
100%.
Works.
Got me in the face to face, and from there on it was, you know.
Because the mind and the body is so connected, you know.
Yeah.
That's why they say when you talk on the phone, if you smile when you talk, people can detect that. Even though they can't see your face.
I think it's the voice changes.
It changes. Yeah, it does change all of that. So there's definitely something to that.
It's like this, with these monks that laugh or smile in the mirror in the mornings or something, really.
Yeah.
To make it feel happy, same sort of thing, isn't it?
It's Alan Partridge, isn't it? You're a tiger. You know, and if that works for you, then fine. But I would say you've got to couple the two together. You've got to come from mindful places where you've got to have that awareness. Because if you've got that, it can be a more solid foundation for any situation that you go into, and it helps to bolster that confidence. And
sometimes you see a confident person, and I have done something, I wish I could be like that person, male or female, have that confidence, and then afterwards I think, well, actually I'm alright, why do I want to be like that person?
I mean, there's two difference, I think, in confidence though. I mean, I can see confidence in the sense of like going to work in a job interview or standing up and doing a presentation. I could probably push myself to have that confidence for that moment. But on the flip side, I get very anxious about things like going on the ferry to France, and I've got that coming up next week.
Okay.
And I work myself up about it, but I will now until the day I go. But I'll probably be on the ferry and be absolutely fine. And I've done it like 4 or 5 times and I've been absolutely fine, but I haven't got the confidence in myself to think, you felt this fine in the past, nothing happened, so then get over it and do it again. And there's two different kind of confidence.
Yeah. Well, there is. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is, because I mean, some of the stuff that I've just been talking about, that whole change your shape thing, that is very much. I'm just about to walk into this room, and I need to, I'm just about to go in and talk to these people that I don't know. I need to adopt a confident stance. To be confident in your ability to be able to get on a ferry and not have a panic attack, I would just say, be mindful, because between now and then, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you might have the thought, I've got to get on the ferry, but you just have to remind yourself that at that moment you're not on the ferry.
You're doing your job.
I'm eating my breakfast, about to go to work, and it's Thursday morning. I'm not on the ferry in this moment in time, so I don't need to think about the ferry at this point in time. The only time that we need to be aware of being on the ferry is when we're on the ferry. And when you're on the ferry, again, you'll be fine, because you'll be mindful and you'll connect and you'll go, I'm on the ferry and I'm all right.
It sounds, when you put it like that, it sounds very simple, but it's...
Oh, I know. It always sounds very simple.
Yeah. I find it at night it's worse when your thoughts are very sense.
It is, but it's like being mindful. It's simple, but it's not easy, because our brains don't make it easy. Because our brains naturally generate all these thoughts and ideas constantly. The whole time we're awake, they are constantly doing it. And that's what makes it difficult. And until you are able to practice more and more, just being aware of this moment, and the thoughts and ideas that happen in your head are just connected to this moment and awareness of this moment, and you go above that. It's easy to become a slave to them, and for that to chip away at your confidence. Definitely. Definitely. You know, I had a job interview last week, and I actually was aware of feeling quite nervous. And I'm not generally, I'm quite a confident person. Now, I'm not afraid of standing in front of people and talking, but I became aware of feeling a little bit nervous. And I just thought, well, this is good. You know, this is good. This means it's important to me. I'm just going to be aware. I'm not going to sit here on the train imagining what questions they may ask me and what my answers will be, because I can guarantee they won't ask any of those questions. I'll just, be mindful. Yeah, it's not. I don't know the answers.
No.
I don't know the answers.
It's just taken on board, isn't it? And I am in that process now. It's reassurance to myself all the time. If I do get to that, the anxiety that builds up, but before it tips over, I manage to bring it back down again all the time. So it's kind of
when you feel it, yeah, you just being able to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Is the first step, because often it's when it's too late. It just builds and builds and builds and builds, and people never actually stop and go, hang on, I'm starting to feel quite anxious here, and then do something simple like connecting with your breath, just to break it's just those tiny little breaks in the cycle, because it's quite easy for our brain to just keep going up through the gears. A little bit of anxiety kicks in, you go, oh, let's go up a gear, and we'll get even more anxious. Then we'll go up a gear again, we'll go even faster.
Slow it down.
Yeah, the brain just wants to keep
up there.
Keep increasing the throttle. And so that's when the mindfulness comes in, and just taking a breath, just to make the brain just take their hand off the throttle a little bit, or their foot off the throttle maybe, not necessarily a motorbike. I don't ride a motorbike, so I don't know why I'm motorbike analogy. I don't like motorbikes. I don't like motorbikes.
Okay.
Foot, accelerator.
could be an automatic.
Still got an accelerator.
I don't have an automatic, as you can tell.
I'm going to have to buy an automatic because my wife's knees are getting bad and she keeps moaning about having to do the clutch pedal.
I'm sure, like, by the look of yourself, your wife can't be this old.
She's not. She's not riddled with arthritis or something like that.
Lady,
She's just that.
I'm not judging.
Yes, my wife's a cougar. She's 65.
Each their own.
Exactly.
Your life.
No knocking.
Don't knock it down, shall we?
It's not me a thing or two. No, she's just always had bad knees even since she was a kid. Right.
What it meant to that. Be nice, be nice.
Well, I am nice. I was nice. Actually, I'm not always nice. Sometimes I shout at kids.
Fantastic.
Another exercise, I think.
Yeah. Yes. We'll breathe. Because breathing's important. So close your eyes if you wish, and we'll start by bringing our awareness to the breath at the nostrils. And just for the next few breaths, aware of the air entering and leaving the body at the nostrils. And then bring the awareness back so that we are aware of the breath at the back of the throat. Aware of the air moving up and down the neck and hitting the back of the throat. And then the awareness moves down a little further to the top of the chest. And we become aware of the rise and fall as our chest expands and then drops with each breath as it happens. Aware of the movement of the shoulders. Now become aware of the breath right at the base of your breathing, down at the diaphragm, the bottom of the lungs. And again, following each breath as it happens, in and out, and feeling the movement of your body as you breathe. Now we've established that connection with the breath. Allow yourself to become aware of all three aspects. So we breathe in, we breathe out, and then there is that short moment of stillness before you breathe in again. For the next few moments, if your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath and just allow your attention and your awareness to rest exclusively on whichever part of the breath is happening in that moment, whether it's the in, the out, or the pause. Focus that awareness on the stillness that happens between breaths. Yourself to enjoy the fact that in that moment of stillness you're just being alive. connect your awareness with the stillness of the pause between breaths, and just be, and know that in that moment everything is fine. In that stillness you're just being. There is no thought, there is no fear, there is just now. When you're ready, open your eyes.
Nice and peaceful little.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I'll see you next time. I'll see you.